Hey guys, so I kind of want to make a video about how I go about sequencing drums. It's not really anything that's genre specific, it's just kind of the things that I think about when I'm determining what cymbal to use, where it hits. Might talk about fills and stuff like that, I don't know. But if you're new, if just some new person is watching this and they never sequenced drums before, they might learn something from it. And for the more advanced users who actually play drums, um, you might laugh at me because I don't know what I'm talking about. But this is what I do, and I think I get all right results. For never being able to play a single thing on the actual drum set. So, so I'm just kind of dive right in. Uh, uh, Usually I always put a snare on 3 for metal, unless it's like blast beats. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So yeah, I just kind of came up with that on the fly. I think I might make another video about how you can come up with new ideas using various creative techniques on how to create original rhythms from magic, nothing. I mean, magically from nothing. All right, sorry, I'm kind of rambling. All right, so I got this. I'm gonna duplicate it, and now we have a drum track. Just kidding. All right, so I got this. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my cymbals and stuff. So if this is the first measure in the section, about 120% of the time I'm gonna start it with a cymbal crash. And a lot of times I use both at the same time. Crash 2 and crash 1. Alright, so easy peasy. And then I might probably use the open hi-hats on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also, since we're writing in like 4/4 right now, maybe every 2 measures, or maybe every 4, I might change our hi-hat to a crash. I probably won't do both, but maybe one. So yeah, that's pretty simple right there. So what else? Okay, so next, I don't want this to just repeat. That's kind of boring. And we'll just pretend for now that this is the I don't know, the 4th measure in a 4-bar section or something. Yeah, no, you know what? We'll pretend that this is the 4th measure in an 8-bar section, because here's why. If you have 8 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 4th bar, generally you're going to have some sort of fill on the 4th measure if it's out of 8 bars. On the 4th measure, what I do is I kind of keep the fill a little simplistic, and the 8th one is the one that kind of ends the section to progress it further into the next section of the song. So usually when I want to make a simple fill, that usually involves me just writing like a snare roll or something. So that's what I'm gonna do. But first I'm gonna change this. We have 4 consecutive notes on the kick right there, so I'm just gonna mix it up a bit by deleting those. Get a little contrast. Contrast is important in music. So now I'm not doing that, and instead I am doing that. And what can I do? Let's do that. Okay, whatever. Sure, we'll go with it. We will go with it. So yeah, I'm gonna do a snare roll. Let's do that. So I'm gonna just slap some snares on right there. And if you listen to it, it sounds awful. I'm gonna think simplistic here, and I'm gonna try and listen to the bigger picture. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna add that snare there. So I might have like a smaller fill going into that one. Or roll, I mean, going into that. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of mess around with it. So as you can hear, it's not really a snare roll. It's just kind of. It's not really anything cool. And this is important to point out. The velocities. As you can tell, mine's cranked up pretty high, and that is not very realistic. And this is like absolutely impossible unless you're like a robot. But even then, I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible then. But okay, let's move on. So what I'm gonna do is, no, that's cool. Kind of subdivided the 16th notes into 30-second notes, but I'm gonna drop this down. So there's a better little snare roll. Kind of swells up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that kick, because I feel like the kick is kind of distracting. It's I mean, the kick is loud, and it will kind of get in the way of the snare roll, and if the snare's doing something kind of cool, you don't really want to hide it. You want to let it shine. Let the snare shine. So I'm gonna just take out that kick. I'm gonna see if I can maybe write a little roll of this. Boom. So if you really want to make your snare sound a little bit cooler, just do something like that. I mean, you can just like add a little one before it, and it'll still sound kind of cool. See, it adds a little more life to the track. And I'm not even done with it. So, next, I kind of want to put something in there. I feel like that hi-hat isn't, feels like they're just missing. So I'm going to just move a kick there. See if that changes anything. Okay. Oh, hold on, let me bring that back in. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, it's nothing too crazy in the fill department, and you know, it adds a little spice to the track, I guess. feel like maybe I could turn these down a little bit more. Oh. Cool. And yeah, another thing that you can do is when you're adjusting the velocities, you can like kind of determine which one you want to be accented. Like on this one, it is the this part right here on the and of 1, so 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so yeah, it's an offbeat, or is that what you call it? Yeah, offbeat. Duh. Sorry. So yeah, okay, I think that's good enough. Next thing you do, since I'm kind of having the snare accent these kicks right here, I'm gonna have a splash cymbal up there as well to help accent. In my opinion, I think splash cymbals are really good for accents. You could use a crash cymbal, but I feel like those are better left for moments when you want to make like a statement, like at the beginning of the section, stuff like that. Which is why I usually put them at the beginning of the like 4 bars or every 2 bars or whatever. So yeah, cool. But I still want to add like a little more variety to it. So I was like accenting this snare right here. Let's put another splash cymbal on there, see how that sounds. Oops. I mean, it sounds kind of cool. I mean, it's just kind of there. Maybe a guitar is doing something cool on that spot or something, and the splash could be accenting it, or not. We can mute it, or not use it, or we can use it. I'll keep it in there just because. Another thing that we can do, let me think here. Let's mute this kick. Let's take out these hi-hats too. So we play this back, there won't be anything. But if we want to add like a little interest in the cymbal department, what we could do is we could like add a crash cymbal there. Maybe right here, the guitars and stuff, they all just drop out. And then maybe a splash cymbal right there. And then, oops, crash there again. Yeah. Cool beans, right? So yeah, we'll pretend the guitars that are just like kind of dropping out right there, and the cymbals come in with that little. It's pretty cool. So why would I use the cymbals in a splash and not something else like the hi-hat? I mean, we can hear what that sounds like. It doesn't sound as cool. It kind of sounds like the cymbals are playing. They're just kind of going back and forth with each other. Maybe they're talking to each other. And the cymbals, they kind of like sustain longer than a hi-hat. So it almost kind of feels like the cymbals kind of fill that empty void of silence. So there's something back there. But yeah, because they kind of have that washy thing, That's why if you use too many cymbals, your drum kits will start getting kind of like washed out, and all you'll hear is you don't want that. So yeah, that's just kind of what I do. You know, that's what I think about. Generally, at the beginning of a section, I will, you know, start on the strong beat with some cymbals to make a statement. When there is room available, then you can play around with the cymbals. Otherwise, if there's a lot of stuff going on, don't get too crazy with them. Every, 2-4 measures, I add a cymbal just to help break up some of the monotony of the hi-hats or whatever instrument that I'm using there. Or not instrument, whatever kit piece or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and I use splashes for accents when cymbals will be too much. And you can accent with snare, play around with the dynamics, the velocities and stuff, add little rolls, snare rolls. Oops. Yeah. Cool beans. So that's all I really had to say about that. That's just an example. I might do a couple more in another video, because I don't know how long I can upload videos for on YouTube. How long they can be. I know some people have videos that are like 50 minutes, others have videos that are like 5. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end this one right meow. Later.